Hey everyone, this is Devin Hager. Welcome to the Devin Hager podcast, also known as Wholesaling with Joe. I have a very special guest, a fellow Joe Homebuyer, Stafia, and she is an incredible person. Very grateful to know her, and we're going to get to know more about her and about a deal we actually just did together, and kind of talk about the benefits that I've mentioned in other videos and how awesome Joe Homebuyer is, and why you want to partner with us. So, Stefia, if you can give us a little background about you, we'd love to get to know you more, and then we can further break down a deal we just did together, which is pretty exciting. So,
Fantastic. Well, thanks, Devin. I've been a Joe for almost 2 years now, so I'm relatively still a rookie. Prior to that, I was working in facilities and hospitality services for hospitals and senior living facilities. My husband and I had done some fixes and flips on the side for about the last 18 years. And about 2 years ago, decided to investigate doing wholesaling full time. And we found Joe and felt that it was a big culture fit for us. So I ended up changing professions, and now I do this full time.
that's awesome. Well, and it's cool. Rumors swirled pretty quick with Stefia when she first started in the business. I'm really close with Mark and Cody, the owners and co-founders of Joe Homebuyer, and they were rumors were swirling on how awesome Stefia was, especially in the beginning stages of her business. With she was just trying to do everything she could to generate revenue and to create opportunities, and she was partnering with other investors, bringing buyers to other wholesalers deals, and doing her own fix and flip. So she's been a really cool person to get to know. And we actually had the pleasure. We've gotten to know each other recently. We did a trip to Lake Powell for a mastermind, and it's really cool to get to know you and your sister and collaborate. But then I got hit up from a fellow friend. His name's Devin Hubbard. He actually lives in Utah, and he reached out to me and says, "Hey Devin, do you have any buyers in Detroit, which is the market Stefia works in?" And I'm like, "I actually do." And so he's like, "Well, we got a 44 unit apartment complex," and I'm like, "I don't know if Stefia has done apartment deals, but I know she's a hustler, and I know she'll do whatever she can to find a buyer for this particular deal." So he sent me this property, and that's like I said, that's the benefit of working with Joe. I immediately had somebody that I trusted, that I know I could work with, that we could have the best chance of finding a buyer and hopefully make money on it. And so we got presented this 44 unit deal, and I called Stefia, and we put a joint venture agreement together, and she went above and beyond. She reached out to other investors that have been well known in the area to do an evaluation. She reached out to brokers and things like that. So maybe Stefia, I'll let you go into that further, but she did everything she could to make sure we can perform and find a buyer. So it's really a pretty cool deal to work on. So if you want to elaborate further.
Absolutely. So it was very unique. I've done multifamilies before, up to a four flat, but nothing of this size and scale. I obviously was not in a position to already have that knowledge on how to comp out those types of facilities. I ended up reaching out to two of my broker slash real estate investors to really get a gut check on, based on the area, what do you think we could potentially put a comp on this, or what would the after renovation value of this property be? Both of them came in with two slightly similar numbers. One came in at 2.5 million. The other came in about 2.2 million. And then it was really working backwards to tour the property to determine what kind of renovation it was going to need to get it back on the market. And then do a little bit of market research in terms of what kind of cash flow this would produce for my investors, because I think it's a critical thing for wholesalers to understand your buyer's criteria thoroughly, so that when you're reaching out to them, you're reaching out to them with the right kind of deals. You're not filling their inbox with a lot of stuff that they don't actually buy. And to make sure that you can make the case for them, help them understand why this deal makes sense to them.
Absolutely. Well, and like I said, I've done a few multifamily deals, never wholesaled. So this is my biggest wholesale deal ever as well, from a unit standpoint. I worked for a company that bought large multifamily for a period of time, but it's a different ball game. And so it was, I think the biggest thing you pointed out, Stefia, is that if you don't know, find out from who does. From the most successful people that I personally know and that I've mentored under, that I've done research on, they act like they don't know a lot because they want to be a student and they want to make sure that they can be a sponge and obtain as much information as possible. And so that's why when I knew that, like, it was a blessing for me to get sent a deal in Detroit, because I knew I could reach out to Sophia, and she may not know the answers to a lot of the questions, but she knows the people, or will find the people to get the answers we needed. So to give a little bit of a background, so we got this property under contract for 650. Originally it was $700,000. So the original buyer was going to buy it for 500,000, and so he wanted to see if they wanted to see if they could make $200,000 on the deal. So we were in a contract for 700,000, and Stefia blasted out, and she starts getting good activity. We didn't get a ton of activity, just because it's obviously the buyer pool is smaller, but Stefia really spent a lot of time on it, and we ended up getting an offer for $650,000. And the people that we were partnering with on the deal, him and his partner wanted to make at least $110,000. And so that put us in a position. Stefia did everything she could. She asked the buyer to submit their highest and best. That particular buyer was at their highest and best, and he was ready to perform and close in a few weeks. There were other people, from what I understand, Stefia, that were interested, but they wanted a longer due diligence period. They may take longer to close. And the buyer that we were working with, the seller that we were working with, needed to get something done quickly based on their due diligence and their time frame. So yeah, so Stefia really pushed hard to get the buyer as high as they could, and it was kind of a cash situation that kind of limited his capacity to go higher in price. Is that right, Stefia, based on what you were able to get out of him?
Absolutely. He had enough cash to fund $600,000 worth of the deal. He went out and got a hard money lender for not only the original $50,000 purchase price, but also for the renovation values. And in this unit, we assumed it was going to be somewhere around $700,000 to renovate it to the point where it was ready to be occupied again.
Yep.
So it was something that he needed to not only come up with that original 650, he needed to come up with double that in pure cash to make this deal work. He was able to make it work with his own cash as well as some hard money lenders, which is fantastic. He just assumed that holding cost is part of the cost of the deal. And from what I understand, which a great experience for me, never having done this before, I was able to expand my buyer's pool for people who buy multifamilies now, which it's not just the revenue that you take off every deal, it's the connection and the networking that you grow by working with investors, talking with investors, showing properties, so that the next time one of these deals come up, you have those relationships in place already, which is fantastic. Two of the buyers on this deal now call me almost every other week to say, hey, anything else coming up in the multifamily realm? So Devin, if you get another one in multifamily in Detroit, I'm on it.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing. That's the thing, guys. As you watch this video, you see that relationships are everything. And so I had a relationship with a good individual that wanted to partner with me. So I was grateful for that. And then I was able to leverage the Joe system, leverage Stefia, knowing that we're a nationwide organization. Guys, we have almost over 100 franchises. And I believe over 25 states. We're almost over half the United States now, which is incredible. So if you have deals, please send them our way. And if we have a Joe in that area, we'll make sure and get you connected with them. And they're going to help you and best source your deals so that you can profit and make the most for your money. So what was really cool about this deal is that Steffi and I both made $20,000. So it was like we both separately. So it was a really incredible relationship. And Stefia, God bless her, spent a lot more time than I did. I was the networker. I was the one that put the people together, and Stefia is the one that put it across the finish line. And it was a really cool experience for both of us. And so as you journey into your wholesale business, it's really important that you find people that can not only help you learn the business, help you evaluate numbers, help you negotiate with sellers, but most importantly, being able to find the buyers that are going to perform and having those relationships. And so us at Joe Homebuyer, Steffi in her market, me and my market in West Palm Beach, and the markets that we have all across the country are here to help you. And so I really appreciate Stefia taking the time to not only do this deal, but to come on the podcast and share her experience. And I'm very grateful for her and for her friendship. And I know we're going to be doing deals in the not too distant future again. So thank you so much, Sophia, for taking the time to hop on and do this.
My pleasure.
Okay, awesome. Well, if I don't see, we have weekly calls, but if I don't see you, we'll see you in conference coming up here in the next few months. So that'll be exciting as well. So
That's great.
okay, please like and subscribe for more content. We'd love to give you more info. And yeah, and if you want to reach out to me, if you got a deal in Detroit, Sophia's the one we're going to send your way so she can help you move your deal. So I appreciate it. Thanks.